Shalom. First, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh, double honors to the apostles and elders of GreatMillStone and rule well, and Shalom to the elect, man. I just wanted to get into a quick topic regarding conducting yourself within the brotherhood, and also the way that we basically the fact that you give double honors to the apostles, and I really want to speak about one scripture in particular and how it kind of plays out in this truth, man. Because in this truth you got rank, you got order, and it's an important and integral part of our this governing body, man, that the Lord's setting up. Okay, starting with his elect, man, his prophets, man. So I was getting to the topic, and the Lord willing to get into it. This is Matthew chapter 18, verse. I'm gonna start from the top. At the same time came the disciples unto Yahushua, saying, "Who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven?" And Yahushua called a little child unto him and set him in the midst of them. So the Lord brought a child and put him in the middle of the disciples, and said, "Verily I say unto you, except ye be converted and become as little children, you shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. Whosoever therefore shall humble himself as this little child, the same is greatest in the kingdom of heaven." And that goes back to reincarnation, and also it comes back to the fact that when you come into this thing, you've got to basically be born again in your mind. It doesn't matter what age you are in the world in terms of the fleshly, you got to think spiritually, and you're going to grow in this truth, with the Lord guiding your way, man. Okay, so whether you're who you were in the world and all that don't really matter. What really matters is who you are in this in this truth and in the Lord, man. Okay, so I'm just going to read that scripture again, verse 3, and said, "Verily I say unto you, except you be converted and become as little children, you shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven." I remember thinking about that earlier today, and I was thinking, when you're newborn, you got no idea about the world. You're a baby. You just you're a bare necessity senses, and you're just drinking the milk, and you're getting your nutrients from your mother's breast, and that's how the scriptures are referred to, man. The scriptures are referred to as your mother's breast in Songs of Solomon 8, man, in Isaiah 28. Actually, let me get a scripture in Peter's. This is 1 Peter's chapter 2, verse 2. "As newborn babes, desire the sincere milk of the word, that ye may grow thereby. If so be ye have tasted that the Lord is gracious." And that's when you first come in, you're just kind of standing there, you don't really know what's going on, you're just listening, and you're learning that you're an Israelite, you're learning that the Lord is actually a so-called black man, okay, the white man is the devil, so-called white man is the devil. If you find out the Most High's name, you're finding out that so-called black people are the real Jews of the scriptures, the Israelites, and if you find out these things, and then you start to learn a thing or two, but you can't get proud because of that, because the Lord's giving you this knowledge, but not for you to get prideful about it. It's so that you can do a job, and your job is to speak the Lord's words and gather the elect, man. Okay, and it made me think about children, because obviously when you're a newborn babe, you're just sucking that milk, and when you start getting to that stage where you can kind of like walk and you can barely talk, kind of thing, you're like a toddler, that's when you start doing things, and you start moving around and stuff, and you're learning and you're constantly growing, and then you start to get to that stage where you're going to make mistakes, and then your elders are going to start rebuking you on things and teaching you how to maneuver and what to do, what's the right and wrong, because anyone can pick up the scriptures and read the laws, but maneuvering through the spirit and this truth is difficult, because we're in captivity. So it's through experience and through growth that you learn certain things, and mainly it's that experience that you learn by listening to your elders, to more senior men in the camp, in your camps, respective camps, and obviously our apostles and our elders who are at the top, man. You know, and if you got, you know, I myself, I've been in this truth for about, you know, just under 3 years, I believe. You know, there's brothers in the camps that in our camp that have been, you know, in this thing for like 9 years. And if you look at it like this, you know, you got a playground, you got some of the big kids, you know, the 10, the 12-year-olds and so on and so forth. And, you know, they might have their little brother there hanging out with them, and he might be, you know, 4 or something. You know, he'd be crying at everything, constantly, you know, they're always taking the piss out of him. You know, he's always making mistakes. But, you know, he can still hang out, obviously, because he's family. You know, he's your brother, but he's just that annoying kid in the playground. But he hangs out because he's family. You know, you really love him, but he's going to start doing some stupid shit. And that's kind of how it is when you hang around brothers. You know, when you first come in, you start hanging around brothers that are more senior than yourself. You're going to start finding stuff about yourself, you know. And that's part of it. That's part of that growth, man. And obviously our apostles and elders, 30 years, 20 years, they're grown men, man, in the spirit, man. You know? And that's why, let me get the scripture actually. This is 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 5. It says, likewise, ye younger, submit yourselves unto the elder. Yea, all of you be subject one to another, and be clothed with humility. For God resisteth the proud and giveth grace to the humble. Okay, and that's really just a humbling process. Because how many times you've been in the playground, you had the big kids there, and they fucked your shit up, man. And that humbles you, you know. You had a bad day that day, but you learned a lesson, you know, and that's kind of really part of it, man. You know, because you're gonna be around brothers. Brothers are gonna build you up, especially more senior brothers, man. Especially brothers that are, you know, higher in the spirit, and first and foremost are apostles, man, through the spirit of Yahweh Shemel Shai. And the scriptures say that the Lord chastens he whom he loves, man. Okay, so that's, you know, part and parcel of this truth. You know what I mean? Because maybe go back to that scripture in Matthew, when the Lord said you got to become like a child, man. And that's true, man. To come into this truth and humility, you got to come back as pretty much as a child, man, and learn to grow in the Lord in that right way, you know. So, you know, that's part of the growth, man. Anyway, with that, you know, shalom, all praise to Yahweh Shemel Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GreatMillStone.